In this video, we're going to walk you through installing LoomAI on your local machine or your laptop. Prerequisite for this video is to install Docker on your laptop. If you don't have Docker installed yet, pause the video here, go install Docker. You can use Docker Desktop, that works just fine. And come back here. Once you have Docker installed, we'll have you up and running with LoomAI in about a couple minutes. So the first thing to do is to go to the GitHub repo where we have stored all the LoomAI code and the detailed installation instructions that you can use to install LoomAI. Quick word on LoomAI: it runs as a Docker container that bundles all the Fabric tools you need, and it's designed to run right on your laptop. The container just starts a small web service, and you interact with that web service through a standard web browser, just like any other website, except it's hosted locally on your machine, which makes it a little bit easier for you to use your resources and stuff. This means that installing LoomAI is as simple as running a Docker Compose file and pointing your browser at a local URL. Everything just runs locally. It's really great. The first thing we want to do when we are trying to install LoomAI is to confirm that Docker is installed. So if you just open up a terminal window, type docker -- version, it should show you that Docker is installed. If Docker is not installed, then go install Docker and come back when that's ready. Next thing we want to do, so what the install steps are going to do is pull a Docker Compose file and a small script that will run it for you from the GitHub repo, and you're going to want to put those somewhere, probably not just in the root of your machine. So you probably want to make a directory, call it LoomAI if you like, cd into that directory, and this will just be a spot where all these files will end up. If you go back to the GitHub repo, scroll down, there's the README file that has a lot of information about LoomAI. The thing that we're going to pay attention to here is this one-line install script. So if you just copy this one-line install script, come back over here, paste it in the window. This is going to download the install script, which will download the Docker Compose file, and then run the Docker Compose file, which will start the container. This is the first time you run it. This will take a little bit of time to download the container image. It should take less than a minute. Maybe if you're on a really slow connection, it'll take longer. So we're already up and running. We have LoomAI running on our machine. Note that this one-line install script works great out of the box on Mac and Linux. It'll also work on Windows as long as you have like the GitHub Bash tools installed, so that you have access to curl and Bash and things like that. Or if you run it in a WSL container. If you're on Windows and you don't have any of those things available, you can also just come over to the GitHub repo, find the Docker Compose file here. Download this Docker Compose file and run it in the native way that your Docker system needs it to work. So that's all it is. Get this Docker Compose file, run it on your local machine, and that's all you need to do. Then what you can do, now that we have LoomAI running, we can go up to open a new terminal, and we can go to localhost 3000, and you can see that LoomAI is in fact running on this machine. We're connected to it over localhost 3000. See, it needs a password. This is because this is a web service running on your local machine. It shouldn't be exposed to your local network, but if you have your machine configured to allow that, and we don't really want other people on your local network to access this, so we put this admin password in front of it. The admin password is generated when you create the container, and you can get it out of the logs. So I'm going to show you how to get it out of the logs. So we go back over to our terminal window where we ran LoomAI. We type Docker Compose logs. This will print off all the logs for this particular container. We're interested in just the beginning of it, because I know that's where the password is. So if you pipe it through head, you'll get the top of the logs, and you can see the LoomAI password is right here, automatically generated. We can copy this, paste it into here, and we can log in. If you want to generate a password that you want to determine, you can actually, there's instructions on how to do that in the GitHub repo. You just have to set an environment variable. So now we have LoomAI running and we're accessing it. You can see that we have no token installed and we're not connected to Fabric yet. And we're going to pause right here, and the next video is going to show you how to configure LoomAI with the Fabric tokens. Thank you.